We're going to be diving into why most people fail and how you can avoid it. I'm Hunter Gerlach. I've been an entrepreneur for 4 years and I didn't start making real money until last year because I was running into these same problems. If you've ever felt like you're working really hard but not getting anywhere, this video will show you why. Imagine looking back 10 years from now knowing you could have been way further if you had just realized this one thing. There are 3 reasons why most people fail, and those reasons are 1, because they don't know what their target is, 2, they can't seem to get focused on anything, or 3, they're not patient enough with the process and they give up way too soon. So the first of 3 reasons is lack of clarity. Most entrepreneurs are ambitious, they know they want to do something, but they don't know what that thing is. And I found myself in that same position. I knew that I wanted to make money doing video, but I didn't know how. So I just kept picking up my video camera, shooting for clients, but I didn't seem to be making any massive growth. That's because I was just chasing after unimportant goals, or worse, at times I'd even be chasing after other people's goals. I knew I wanted to make money doing this, but I didn't have a plan of how I was going to do it. And of course, everyone's got to start somewhere, and you're not going to know exactly where you need to be going when you start doing the thing. But for me personally, it took me figuring out who I wanted to serve until I could actually start seeing growth in my business. I will caution, something you want to be aware of is don't get stuck trying to figure out what your target or goals are. It is better to always just start working towards that thing and figuring it out along the way, which is what it takes most of the time. But I promise, the clearer you can get on your vision, the faster you're going to be able to get to that goal. The second reason is shiny object syndrome, going from one thing to the next, thinking you're going to find the silver bullet or the solution to success. And for myself, I did that a lot for years. Of course, I was still in the video business, but I went from being a videographer to owning a production company to positioning myself as an FPV pilot doing drone work to contracting with companies, doing retainers for other companies. I didn't know exactly how I wanted to run my business, so every time I saw something come up that looked good, I would chase after that thing. And looking back, if I just focused on one thing from the beginning, I'd be a lot further than I am now. But that's okay, because I learned that the hard way, and now I'll know if I want to see real progress, I have to put my head down and just work towards that thing, even if other good-looking opportunities come around. So the moral is, don't try to find something new every 6 months. Try working towards something for at least 12 months and see where that goes. And of course, that leads us to our third point, which is be patient and don't give up too soon. For a lot of people, it's not until a year, 2 or 3 years until they start seeing that compound effect go to work for them. And in my case, it's been 4 years, and it's not until now that I'm really starting to see that stuff kick into gear. So if you feel like there's something that you're doing that you're stoked about, just focus on that one thing and don't give up. An example of this outside of my business is when I was really focused on improving my physique. I was going to the gym, working on calisthenics every day for 2 years. It wasn't until a couple months later that I looked back and saw that while it wasn't where I wanted to be, was way better than it had been when I'd started 2 years prior. So a lot of times you're not even going to be able to see that growth even when you're focusing on it. And unfortunately, sometimes you won't even be able to see that you did grow so much until you stop and look back and wish that you had kept going. So just keep going. I promise exciting things and good opportunities will come your way. So now, how to avoid these pitfalls and the counter solution to each of these things. Starting with number 1 is just gain absolute clarity. Of course, like I said, it's important to just start doing the thing, but take some time to try to get clear on what your goals are. And an easy way to do that is just to write down one big goal. Don't write down more than one, literally just write one goal. And then take that goal, do some reverse engineering on it, and break down the steps you need to do to get from where you're at now to the place that you need to be. It's said that people way overestimate what they can do in a year, but way underestimate what they can do in 5. So I encourage you to think about your 5-year goal. Where do you want to be in 5 years? And backtrack until you know what you need to be doing today, this week, this month, and this year. The second counter solution is to just go all in on one thing. Better than committing for 1 year is committing for 3 or 5 years. So either keep doing the thing that you're doing right now, or pick a new vehicle and commit to doing that for the next 3 to 5 years. A way to think about this is, if you need to dig a hole, it's better to spend an hour digging 1 hole than it is to spend an hour digging 10. And that 1 hole that you focused on digging will be much deeper than the 10 that you would have gotten if you did those separately. And the counter solution to number 3, which is being impatient and giving up too early, is just to learn to love the grind. It's taken me years and years to get to this point, and of course it ebbs and flows, it goes in waves, but I can tell you right now, it's been this way for the past couple months, and I can feel that it's going to be like this for at least the next couple of months. And to be honest, I'm not even making as much right now than I was making a couple months ago, because I'm pivoting my business in a way that's going to set it up for longer term success. But because I know that the hard unpaid hours that I'm putting in right now are going to equate to much more success in the future, it gets me so stoked about what's ahead. And think about the people who have focused on just one thing their whole life. It's almost always the case that the person who is focused on getting really good at one thing is more successful and more fulfilled. So again, just learn to love the grind and it will pay off. Colonel Sanders, the founder of KFC, I believe was over 60 years old before KFC actually became successful. And the craziest part is he had tried over 1,000 times to become successful before that one. Failing is also a huge part of the process. Most people would quit after failing 5 or 10 times. But if you know that you're just going to keep going until you become successful, inevitably you will see that success at some point. So I guess what I'm saying is, you don't need talent, but you do need consistency. And if you can be consistent and outdo the people who aren't, you will win. So again, the solution to this is clarity, focus, and patience. And if you can do these things, you will inevitably be successful. My invitation to you that I believe will have a massive impact on your success is to just write one thing down. Just one goal that you believe is going to matter to you in 5 or 10 years from now. And if you think it's going to matter to you in 10 years, then that's your North Star. That's the thing that you want to go after. And again, remember that this is your definition of success. So for you, if it's $1 million, that's awesome. But it can be just having enough free time on your hands to be able to spend with your family. Whatever that thing is in your mind that makes you most happy thinking 10 years down the road, that's your North Star. Go after that thing. thing. And the last thing I'll invite you to do is just commit to mastering one thing this year. Write down what that one thing is that you want to commit to mastering. It really is so easy to feel like you're behind, especially when there are so many people who are younger than you who are successful that you'll see on these social media platforms. But also remember that there are way more people who aren't even thinking about this stuff. So if you're thinking about this, you're already ahead. And if you can come to terms with the fact that you're just building your foundation for yourself and you do that in the right way, you will be unstoppable, you will be successful, and you will have everything that you ever wanted. I really believe that. One thing that I've been told a couple times that's actually really had a big impact on me is a quote that says, "The man who tries to catch 2 rabbits catches neither." So focus on just one thing, commit to that thing, get good at that thing, master that thing, and you'll be so grateful that you did. Also, one more thing to note, if you feel like what you're doing is boring and it's not going to amount to anything, just know that that is all part of the process. I would say that videography is probably one of the most exciting things that you could be doing. You're always with different people, you're always in different environments, you're around cool cars, around cool people. The networking is great. There are so many good aspects to it, but I can promise at least 80% of the time it is not what it looks like. Most of the time you're just sitting at a desk alone, editing, trying to get the work done, and it can be pretty monotonous at times. So just know that no matter what industry you're in, or no matter the thing that you're trying to get good at, it's probably going to feel pretty boring and monotonous at times. It's totally okay. That doesn't mean that you're heading down the wrong path. Leave a comment down below with the one thing you're going to commit to this year, and I'll put in the description the one thing that I'm committing myself to this year. Thanks for watching. Hope this was helpful. Subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.